Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip-hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7. Live on hot7025fm.com.
Boss lady.
Ain't this what they've been waiting for?
Hey, this is an apropos song, Dreams and Nightmares. You go through them both in life.
I used to pray for times like this, to rhyme like this, so I had to grind like that, to shine like this. In a matter of time I spent on some locked up shit in the back of the paddy wagon.
You know who that is?
See my dreams unfold. Nightmares.
Meek Mill, Dreams and Nightmares. If this song don't get you hyped, you ain't alive. Wake up. And it's life. We go through both of them.
Like a nigga sneeze, nigga please for them trick and squeeze. I'm getting cream. Never let them hoes get in between of what we started. Little nigga, but I'm lying hearted. They love me when I was stuck and they hated when I departed. I go and get it regardless. Draw it like I'm an artist. No crawling, went straight to walking. Foreigns in my garages.
Where my chat people at?
Where our chat people at? Dude, what's happening? Kanoy?
Always on.
Chat people, the ladies hold us down here.
Boss lady, take some photos too, boss lady. This is a special day. Everybody.
Boss lady got on 2 French braids and cut off khakis.
Hey, what is this? I want to go, I got.
What you talking about?
My bad.
I ain't got no hat on today.
Trying to show your balls, man.
Trying to show my baldy.
We out of here, everybody. You heard it.
Hey. Bro.
Let's get this thing cracking, everybody.
What's happening in the building?
Hey, you already started in peace. It ain't even like that. Wait till I see you again, though. You are tuned in to the Undrafted Allstarz Sports Show. I'm your host. I am Big Sugar, a.k.a. Sugar Doses the Great, a.k.a. Mr. Tell Your Friends About Me. I'm sitting here chilling in the hooch with my co-host,
Q Mecca, 2 texts up. You know, Tragic gon' hold you down. We got a special guest.
We got a special guest in the house. The homie got a hell of a story. It's the tiny man home himself, Joe Shumpert. Hey,
introduce yourself, Joe.
My name is Joe Shumpert, aka the Tiny Home Guy, and I'm here to tell you my story.
For sure. Hey man, let's just get back. Jump right into it, bro.
Jump right into the story.
Hey, listen to this. Y'all really want to hear this, man.
This is a story.
Really want to hear this
of dreams and nightmares. Nightmares and dreams. That's why I play Meat. That's why I play Meat.
So this is what we're gonna do, Joe. We're gonna start off, bro. The floor is yours. Start off from childhood, sir.
So I was raised in East LA, in Southern California.
Yes, sir.
And in a little city named El Monte. And with my mom and my dad, they were, like the typical poverty parents.
Yes, sir.
That were addicted to every drug in the book.
Ooh.
My dad was a gang member, a Southern California gang member, and my mom was a Southern California gang member as well. And so when I was about 4 or 5 months, my mom took her first trip to prison. So while she was 4 or 5 months pregnant, with me, she was incarcerated at Susanville State Penitentiary, and then she got out, had me, and my dad went in for 2 years. He got out when I was 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went back in when I was 5. And, from then on in, we lived in a motel. We were motel living, basically. I lived in a motel my whole childhood.
Like a weekly?
A weekly motel, yeah.
Got you.
Yeah. So at that time, there was another family there, so it was like normal to me. You know, it wasn't something that you can say that I felt that I didn't have more or had less than anybody, because that was just the norm of about where I lived at. So everybody was poor. You don't feel poor.
Right.
Right. That's true.
So, you know, and at about 8 years old, my dad got sentenced to life with 125 years for murder, strong arm robbery, home invasion robbery, gang affiliation, you name it, money laundering, larceny. Like, yeah, he they threw the book at him.
He was in it.
Yeah, they threw the book at him.
Gotcha.
And this was 1996, around 1996. And he got shipped to Pelican Bay Penitentiary, and they had a riot in 1997. And during that riot, he got stabbed 31 times.
Ooh.
And my mom, she, you know, was doing that transition between like off dope, on dope, on dope, off dope, you know, on drugs, you know. And so I remember when I was 7, 8, 9 years old, having to pull her into the shower, you know, to run cold water because she was overdosing, you know. And again, the normal. I thought it was normal, right? And my mom went through the whole prostitution stage where she was hooking and doing her thing and trying to get what she could, and, you know, standing in line with her at the food stamp and the welfare office. You know, I love those days though, because I knew I was going to eat good, you know. You get accustomed to it. So, yeah, and then at 12, my 11, I was 11. My mom overdosed for the last time, and she passed away. And I got put in a group home, well, a foster home at the time, and but it was still right in that same neighborhood, so it didn't really help me, you know, at that time. So I would still see my same friends every day. I would still run out, you know, and do my thing. And then I think the people that ran it, they just wanted the money.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really, you know, it was just a halfway house basically for youngsters.
Children,
yeah. And so during that time though, a lot of people knew my dad, so they owed my dad favors from the heat that he took, you know. So they would always say, they got me. Like, I got your back, right? You ain't got to work for nothing. You ain't got to want for nothing. But I didn't know what that meant. I just thought that it was, okay, if I needed something, you'll give it to me. Not at all, right? So I started running drugs for them from one area to the next on my bike.
How old were you at this time?
11.
11 years old, running drugs on your bike.
Yeah.
Right. For people that owed your daddy a favor.
How much?
Hey, let my son run drugs. That's the favor I want you to do. That's crazy.
How much was you making a week, like a day?
Probably about 300 to 400.
A week or a day?
At 11 years old?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and then I was, you know, I got to the point where I wanted to start making more money. So I started selling dope.
Gotcha.
And I just I didn't know that how ugly entrepreneurship was, right? When you do that. So it was one of those things that you had to take a step back and look and go, okay, this is what I want for my life, because I thought that was all I wanted, because that's what my dad was.
Right.
And I thought that's where I was headed.
Right? That's supposed to be.
Yeah, because people would ask me, what do I think I'm going to do when I get older? And I'd be like, well, I'll probably be dead before I'm 18. And that was my mindset.
You just say that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because that was my mindset, you know. And then I felt that God didn't love me in that sense, right? I was like, the world's shitting on me, yo. Like, why do you keep shitting on me?
It's true. I can feel you on that.
Yeah. So, and then, I used to hide my dope in these fire alarms, right? They're like these bells in the motels, right? So I used to hide my dope, wrap it up, and put it up there. And then I was 12 at this time, and then, you know, out of nowhere, the cop and the dog came, and he's like, "Stop, freeze right there," right? And I was on 2 crates trying to get it out.
Okay.
So I was like stuck. So I ended up getting locked up then and busted. And at this time, I had already been in jail, in and out, because I was witness to like one of my dad's murders.
Mm-hmm.
Witness to him like.
They try to get you to snitch?
Yeah. Yeah. So they did all kinds of things to me, you know.
Yeah.
And it was it's a horrible game.
Yeah.
Like that's just horrible.
Yeah.
So, but at this time, I went in and they sent me to placement time.
Okay.
And during that placement time, I understood that I need to start moving to a new direction, right? And getting into a sense of who I want to be in jail.
Right on.
You know,
That take up the mentality of where you are.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you.
So that's when I started, and I started like fighting because, again, growing up, I'm from Brazil, so it's like I wasn't black enough and I wasn't Hispanic enough, so I was fighting with both races, and so I was, you know, they would think I was soft, so I would fight, you know, and then my dad was from Hispanic gang, so speaking Spanish, but nobody knew what Portuguese was, right? They're
Right.
You're not black or you're not Mexican.
You're not us.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. You
So
different than us, right?
in East LA, and it's like it's not.
Mexican.
It doesn't work.
And you ain't got nowhere to go.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
So it's like you know, you got to learn to fight.
Right.
And
For sure.
and, yeah, you got to learn to fight, and I thank God I did that because it saved me, and it also made my mentality tough. You know.
That's good stuff.
And so I got out of there, and I AWOL'd. Not got out. Let me rephrase that. I AWOL'd from there
Okay.
and ran away because it was an open placement.
Around what age did you run away?
12.
12?
Yeah.
You
and-
still 12?
Yeah, I was still 12.
Oh, this is at 12.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
You already lived a lifetime
Oh
in
my
12 years.
Yeah.
From being in your mom's stomach. From being in your mom's
Yeah.
stomach to 12 years old, you lived a life.
Oh my
A lifetime of,
Didn't I tell y'all this shit gonna be on the train?
yeah.
Keep going, bro.
So I came up and I got busted again for grand theft firearm. So I got pulled over. I had so let me backtrack. So my friend JR, we were walking. He got shot.
Ooh.
And I stayed with him, but I forgot I had the gun on me, and it was one of the guns that my dad used in one of his crimes. So I stole the gun from him. I was hiding it, right? So,
Gotcha.
But it was a stolen weapon. So they got me for grand theft firearm and witness to a murder, and then withholding information, and you know they tried to throw the book at me. So
Right.
they tried to put me in California Youth Authority until I was 25. It was one of those things that I learned a lot through that state because the judge gave me a chance. Like he gave me 2 years and 9 months. That's what I ended up doing was 2 years and 9 months, but in youth authority. And then during that time, he sent me to a gladiator school, right? And that's how I ended up in Rancho and Camp Kilpatrick, which is like the football era, right? Where it's just like what we're talking about, where Gridiron Gang was invented, and that's where that movie came from.
Gotcha.
Gridiron Gang. It's Camp Kilpatrick.
Okay, good. Let's do this real quick. Let's make that transition from, say, juvenile centers, right? Mm-hmm. Juvenile centers to actually starting when you started to love football.
Okay. Yeah, so during that time when I went in there and started, there was this thing that they only had football, basketball, and boxing in that at that time there, and track. And so I played football and track, and I loved it. And it was like something that came really easy for me because I had a lot of aggression. Right. So, and then also knowing that because they were just starting the programs, they didn't have no JV varsity. They didn't have frost off. It was like everybody was there. Right? So it was like 13 to 17-year-old kids playing on the same team. So and all these kids had nothing but aggression on them. Right. And they were gang members, and some of them were headed off to prison, and they were doing that transition. So during that time, there was a Alamany High School was in San Fernando Valley, and they those are the teams that we used to play was the CIF schools, and we used to play them in the beginning. So Ron Martinez, which was the coach at Chatsworth High School, he was there scouting them because they played them the following week.
Got you.
And Samuel Wesley got hurt. Our running back at Clamp Kilpatrick got hurt, and I ended up being able to play.
So y'all was like a tune-up team.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
Yep.
Gridiron Game, the movie.
Yeah.
With The Rock.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's right. Got you.
That's exactly
y'all
what
remember
we were.
that?
That's exactly what we were.
For sure.
And then, so he came up to me after the game because I had a great game. I ran back a kick, ran back a touchdown, and I played really well. So he came up and asked me what I plan on doing. I was like, I don't know, right? And at that time, like I tell people this whole time, I thought it was just another white guy giving me an empty promise.
So they,
So
they came to see the school that came to tune y'all up, but they end up seeing you, and you end up being recruited.
Yeah,
that's what's up, man.
Yeah,
that's great.
That's what's up.
Yeah, and
a break your way,
right?
For once,
and it was like such a blessing because that man ended up being such a mentor to me.
That's what's up.
And
needed that at the time.
Too. But at that time I didn't take it because again I thought he was just selling me an empty promise, right? And then 2 weeks later, I get an interview, right? And this guy Mark Grimes comes and interviews me, and at this time I'm 14 years old.
Okay.
And he's like, I have a place for you in Chatsworth. You can come and live there. It's a group home, boys' home. They'll teach you manners. They'll teach you like everything if you're willing to open to it. If it's something you want to do, it's called Rancho San Antonio is what it's called, right? So I was like, sure. All right, sure, right? So 3 weeks passed, 4 weeks passed, and then I end up getting in a fight then during that time. And so I thought I was going to be in big trouble because they haven't found anything they didn't know the consequence they were going to give us yet. Right?
Gotcha.
So 6 weeks go in and I get a call to roll my stuff up and I got to go. So I was like, okay, I know it's time. I'm either switching dorms or like I'm going to another
you think
facility.
you're in trouble?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I get there and the Mark Grimes guy is sitting there waiting for me. And he had this little Interpret, little Dodge Interprets.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he had, and I was like, so I just remember the whole day, and he asked me if I was hungry, so we went and got something to eat, because I've been eating like jail food like this whole time, right? But it was like camp food to me. It was normal, so I was like, okay. So he asked me if I was hungry. We went to IHOP and got pancakes and eggs, and then I get there at Rancho, and it's just a whole different aspect of life, right? And a different persona because it's in the valley. Mm-hmm. So it's like
they care about you. They're trying to show you things. They're not just doing it for the money.
Yeah. And all the guys that worked there, they were all from CSUN, most of them.
Yeah.
They all went to CSUN, and they were all like Phi Beta Kappa, like Sigmas and Omega, and so like they were trying to uplift all the brothers there, man. So it was like
that's good stuff.
And they were like big brothers, and they kept it real because they were still like 23, 22, so they didn't really know how to shelter what they say,
Right. That was raw.
Yeah, but they were like majored in psychology or like communication, so they wanted to be social workers and things like that. So it was like a good start for them too.
Right.
And it was just such an ultimate blessing, right? But anyways, to go back into the football thing is, like the first year and a half at football, it was like very hard because I didn't understand how to be normal, right? Because like there was kids who thought they were tough, but I just came from kids that were tough. So it was like a whole different
a different
gotcha.
Yeah, and you're like you guys don't really want to go that route because I know what it's like to go that route, right? So it was and again the fighting thing came because I wasn't black, I wasn't Hispanic, and I didn't understand athletics at that time. Like I didn't understand where they would take me.
Yeah.
Right, and I wasn't even thinking that far yet.
Gotcha.
So, but now it's like I have a whole different where people fight and they want everybody to see them fight.
Yeah.
Where I came from a place where you don't want to get broken up when you fight, so you go into these little closets and things like that.
Tell the bathroom story.
Right. So like that was one of the things that happened. So we were out at lunch, and this guy came because he was mad at something. It was just he thought he was a gang member, right? And it was like, okay, I get it. But then I stood next to him and I whispered to him, like, if you really want to do this, we can go into the bathroom and we can handle it so nobody can break it up. And I didn't see him in the bathroom, right? So it was like that thing, though. But that was like the biggest, that day is when Ron Martinez called me in his office. And he said, you could either play football or you can do bullshit and I can kick you out. And you can go back to where the life you want. If that's what life you want, or you can get the life that you can go get.
Right.
It's up to you, right? And because that first year I was ineligible for the playoffs, they brought me up. I was ineligible. I didn't understand that part of it, right? So, like, I didn't understand letting a team down. I let my whole team down because they were counting on me to play in the playoffs.
Wow.
Right.
And at that time I was 15, so I didn't understand, right? But, like, I get called in the office and he's like, so here, and he hands me like this stack of letters, right? From Arizona, New Mexico, like, and he's like, but they're little notes, right? They're like nothing major. They're like, we love watching you. Keep it up. Or, you know, I keep doing what you're doing. Keep your grades up, you know.
That's confidence.
We'd love to bring you to camp, one of our camps during the spring, that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So it was like that. When he told me, he's like, you know what those are, right? And I was like, yeah. But he's like, no, do you know what those are? And I go like, no, what, you know? And he's like, this is how you can change your life, right there in those papers.
Right,
This is how you can
opportunity to change your life, yeah.
Yeah, he goes, but if you keep doing this shit, you're not going to get this.
Right.
You know, he's like, you can't have shit in toilet paper and use the toilet paper again. It just doesn't work. You know? And that's what he kept telling me, right? It's like, don't be dumb.
Right.
So at that point, he would start opening up the gym for me. I think I told you this. So he would start opening up the gym for me in the morning at 5 a.m. And I'd get there early before everybody, and I start working out, running, so I can get there for study hall. And I'd be able to study hall, and he would help me. And there was like 2 or 3 different teachers that would kind of help me, like, understand work, right? And for some reason, I was doing science, working, like, doing bad in science. And so she stayed extra to help me, you know, and I would be there every day till like 5:30 to 6:30, you know. But in 11th grade, I got my first official letter, an offer from University of Arizona, and then Oregon State from Dennis Erickson when he was there.
Oh, snap.
But and so I ended up going to Oregon State, getting committed. Early commit, and then went to Oregon State. But things didn't work out because they wanted me to switch to corner because they had 2 All-American tailbacks there, Steven Jackson and Ken Simonton. They had at that time, and I wasn't going to play.
You weren't going to see the field.
And if you know Steven Jackson, you're not going to play.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
He was a beast then. He's still a beast.
Still.
You know? Yeah, so.
Yeah, Steve.
Yeah.
Shout out your boy.
Steve.
Yeah, so he, but, you know, I was there for about, what do you call it? How do you call it? Drink a cup of coffee with him? You know? So it was like I was there for a quick stint. Then I transferred. I went to Moore Park College. And then Dennis Erickson and then Coach Jackson split up. The coaching staff left. So I followed Coach Jackson to the University of Missouri. And that's how I ended up at Mizzou. And it was a whole different, again, feel of culture.
Yeah.
Right? And culture shock, and then just playing football overall, you meet so many people from different places and different walks of life that you understand that you can have more.
Right.
Right? And that's the biggest thing that I've learned is I can have so much more. And it just, but I knew what I wanted was to get a paycheck from the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
So, I didn't care if it was a big one, a small one. I just wanted to know that I knew I can accomplish that because now everybody's been telling me for over 8 years now that you can get it.
Make that transition from Missouri to that till you get to the pros.
Yeah. So that was a horrible transition. It's you know, to be honest with you, it was like when you understand that you can play on Sundays, and you got to understand like how to put politics away from yourself. Is that like you get picked up and you go trying out all these different teams, and you're flying into. So I got flown into Jacksonville, I got flown into San Francisco, but then these Canadian pick, right? And the transition stops, right? Because they go, well, we're going to offer you right now, right? So now, if you want a pro paycheck, that's what you're paying for. You're playing for that pro paycheck. So it's like it doesn't matter if it's the Arena League, CFL.
Whoever gonna sign me, I'm taking it. Absolutely.
So it's like, and then like for me, it was more of I've already did more than my dad did,
right?
So I can sign this and I'll be all right with my life, right? And that's what I was thinking. I got a degree, and it's like I'm okay. So that was my transition, was understanding that I got to sign so I can get on.
Right.
So the first team I signed with was with Jacksonville, but they allocated me to Europe. So at that time, the NFL Europa was still around, which I loved it. Like it was a whole different persona, it was a whole different game. But you get to understand who you are as a player, playing with people from everywhere that are better than you or just as good as you, and don't use all their time to perfect their craft.
Got you.
Right? Or you can see different people's demons and understand and
why they didn't make it, why did some make it, some don't. Yeah, sometimes the most talented people don't make it because they don't work hard or they struggle. That is interesting to observe that. How old were you? How old were you when you signed to Jacksonville and they sent you to the Europe? How old were you?
22.
22.
Right on.
And at that time, I'd already been to the point where I was so. This is all I want to do with my life, right? But I know that like it's short-lived. So at Mizzou, I was taking these trade school courses, right? Pinko made everybody take the trade school courses, which is like
that's smart.
That's great.
That's a smart idea. Because trade schools always have a job or know how to build something, do something.
Well, that's what Pinko, his whole persona. I mean, his whole like ideology, I guess you want to say, is you need to do things that can only be done by human hands.
Yep,
absolutely.
That's a great motto.
Yeah,
because you'll always have a job.
Yeah.
Carpenters, electricians, people like that.
Yeah, so
he did you a service by putting you in the trade school while you playing football.
And it was like, so he made us all work during the summer.
Yeah.
And
that's great, man.
It was like, if you want to do something, you're gonna do it, right? And he's like, because all of you guys ain't going to the league,
right?
Half of you guys ain't going to the league.
The majority of y'all ain't. About 5% of y'all, maybe 3%.
So he was just breaking it down.
So let me ask you this: how does it feel when somebody tell you that?
When that's your dream. When that's all you get. When
it crushes you, man.
Right.
You know, and because it's like, you've been thinking that the whole time, right? It's like, that's why I'm here.
Then you got the person that's telling you
that all y'all ain't gonna make it. Most y'all ain't gonna make it.
Yeah, and then like those coaches you believe too, right? Because it's like they've seen the talent.
They know your potential.
Yeah, they've seen the talent, and because I've gotten to the point where I went to a workout and they go, "Oh, you don't even know how to run yet." Right? And it's like, I've been doing this for how long? Right? But they're like, "Oh, you can be so much faster."
Right.
And I'm like, so it's like always being coachable, understanding
that's important.
Right. But and then I went to Europe. I came back. I signed a 2-year deal with Jacksonville.
For sure.
And then I got cut 3 weeks into that deal.
3 weeks?
And I got waived. Then I got picked back up by Cincinnati and got shipped off back to Europe, to Amsterdam at the time. And then I played for the Admirals. And then I came back. I played in Saskatchewan in Canada for a stint, and then went and walked on and tried to play in San Francisco. And that was like,
bang, Niners.
Hey, trash. I'm glad you ain't play there.
But again, it's one of those things that, like, once you understand that politics is how it works
everywhere,
and that, like, you got to use what you have to get where you got to go, right? So it's like, once I understood that I wasn't going to be playing, you get to a point where, like, your agent drops you, right? And then
your writing's on the wall after that.
Yeah. And then, like, you pick up another agent, but now he's getting a percentage of money that you really ain't getting, because it's like shit, right? It's like they're paying you like you're working like a regular job, right? So you're like, man, my body's going through this for that.
Right.
And then, and then you realize that, like, he has like 4 other guys that are big names.
He giving all them the attention.
Yeah.
So what you're saying? I don't want to go back to the. Hey guys, listen. There's politics in sports. It's not a meritocracy like they say it is.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean. That means that you got to be likable. You got to poly. That's what we say. We from the poly. We polying. If you can be talented and you don't poly, you might not make it on the team or to play. So be careful that think that just sports is just we're gonna do the best thing to win. Because I remember in San Francisco, we had a quarterback that shouldn't have been starting. That
all y'all quarterbacks shouldn't have started.
And I was like, why is that happening? And it was politics.
Yeah.
So politics is in sports, guys. Always remember that.
I'm going to give you another example of politics in sports. Beast Mode should have got that ball on the goal line.
True.
They wanted Russell Wilson to be the fucking MVP.
That could be possible because it's a quarterback league. So I understood this call.
This is somebody that been in the game that telling y'all this shit. True. Say it again.
True.
See?
Yeah. Yeah. Beast Mode knew what to do with it.
Politics in sports. Always remember that when you're rooting for your team.
Yeah. But yeah, then I came back and I got an opportunity to at the end of my to go play in Japan, and that
was lit, wasn't it?
And it was lit. Yeah.
I heard Japan is lit. I gotta make it there.
It was called Corporate Japan,
right?
And it was like one of the best.
Y'all were rock stars over there, huh?
Yeah, and I went there. It was which was cool because it was a league that they created for athletes with degrees.
Oh, that's
right
dope.
on.
And
right on.
Japan, shout out to y'all. That's
so, man. Lit,
wait till I tell the whole story. You're really gonna shout it out.
I don't want to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's super dope. So it was like, so I went there and I taught English for 3 months, played football for 3 months, teach English for 3 months, play football for 3 months, and that's how the program and the contract works.
Right on.
So like in 2012, we had a tsunami there, and we were all contracted for 3 years. So the coolest thing about the league and Japan itself is like they paid us out the 3 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Even though you didn't finish the 3 years?
Even though we finished 1 year.
I want to go play. I should have went to Japan, bro.
And so the thing is, every single one of those players, shout out to all those guys.
Shout out.
For Hyosung, it's Hyosung. That's the league we played in.
Right on.
Hyosung, Corporate Japan, and then but we all gave back 110 of that to help rebuild Japan. So it was like every single one of us, and it was super. It was a cool, great, amazing gesture.
Right on.
You know,
that's dope. Shout out to Japan, and they did it how the NFL don't do it. They honored the contract. Hey, even though y'all ain't playing, we gonna honor it because we want you to honor your side if you sign it. We gonna honor our side and still pay you for the 3 years because we signed you for the 3.
Yeah,
that's integrity.
And when you got your money already, you play a little bit harder. You ain't got to worry about nothing in the background when you got your money already.
Yeah,
just go out there and play hard.
That's dope.
Man.
We should take a book out of that page. Contracts. Hey, honor the contract, and then if something happens, that happens. Do the right thing by the people, and people do the right thing by you.
That part.
That's dope, man. That's really dope. I didn't even know Japan had a football team, football league like that.
Let's do this, man.
So we learned something.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no.
Let's do this. Entrepreneur now, right?
Yeah.
Go from football, it's going to the end. So now you decide that them trade schools can't handle it, correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so making that transition away from football, knowing, okay, it's time to go and do this. So go from that, then explain tiny home to everybody that's listening.
Okay, so like what I did was I understood that going to the trade schools, one of the guys in the trade school, the instructor, brought in a paycheck, right, for a week. And I was like, wow, that's like league minimum. Right? Like,
right. And he ain't getting his body bruised.
I'm like, that just makes no sense to me, right? So I knew plumbing was where I wanted to go, right? So I was like, oh, and I knew that it was recession-proof.
Right.
Nothing's going to happen. Yeah. And I'll always be a plumber. I'll always be able to be a plumber. I can build. This is something, if I want to, build something, this is what I can do. So that's what I did. I started doing the plumbing, and I built a plumbing company. And I helped just about 300 employees help build their lives and build them to where they need to go.
Tell the people the name of your company. They might know it.
Well, I don't own it anymore. So
that's true. Okay.
Yeah. And then I went ahead, and the guys I work with now, they own the wellness company, and it's a senior help, and we specify in senior communities, building senior age in place.
Yeah.
And that's just we built tiny homes. So it was the guys they're all professional athletes as well, ex-professional athletes, and the group is 5 black men, right?
Yeah.
And we support each other, like we lean on each other.
Yes,
and
sir.
The coolest thing is they're all blood-related family.
Yeah.
And I'm like the sixth wheel, right? I'm like the guy that came. So it's cool because the blessings is like because of like my wife and my son now, I didn't have any family, but now the relationships I'm building, I have a lot of family to turn to, you know.
That's dope.
Do y'all hear this shit? Did I tell you y'all? Did I tell y'all the story?
How old were you when your father died? You was
like 9.
9. So
a bunch of mom. When she died?
11.
He was 9 and 11 when his mom, and you the only child.
Yeah.
So his family was gone. It's just him.
Yeah.
And now he has family through a lot of friendships and his own son and wife.
A lot of y'all.
He went through the worst things from the first 12, 13 years of his life that a lot of us wouldn't have made it through.
No, but
I wouldn't have made it through. I think I'm from the
system, bro.
Yeah.
And he persevered. So that's why Dreams and Nightmares was a perfect song, because he started off the first 12, 13 years as nightmares. And then he had to grow and learn through where he come from and where he was trying to go.
Absolutely.
Which is the transition that's hard. Because when you come from something, you're like, this is all I know, and this is this is how I survive. So it ain't bad as people want to say it is, but people tell you also, hey, if you want to go further, then you got to, that mind state, you got to leave that in the past too.
Right.
So that's why your story is such a beautiful story from where you come from being in jail with your mom when you was in her stomach, to owning and doing things and creating a brotherhood with tiny homes, and to having your family. So that's a great story, the journey. And the journey is inspirational. It tells you if you persevere and you get some help, because you had help, you had mentors, you had people who gave you chances, and people who was telling you, hey, you want to go back there, you want to go here, what do you want to do? So the beauty in the story is there are a lot of people who are heroes that don't get shot out. You're a hero yourself for persevering, and then people who gave you chances,
they
like
make
the guy who saw
homes.
you play at the Gridiron Gang and said, "Hey, we're gonna bring you over here." So that's a dope story. And now you're an entrepreneur. And what is the name of your business that you
The Tiny Home Guy.
The Tiny Home Guy.
Yeah.
Y'all look that up. Check it out. That story was a beautiful story.
You ain't gotta put Big Mama in the home. You can put her in the backyard.
And
you'll save thousands. You'll save
Save money, and you
put Mama in the backyard.
And Big Mama needs to be around the youth so she could give them wisdom and understanding. I believe that we got far away from how the nature of things. So I think that elders are a staple in the community. They give their children wisdom, their grandchildren wisdom, and understanding in things. Without them, our history is forgotten.
Yep.
So instead of putting your granny in a home and then letting them mistreat her, they do all kind of wild things over there. Put her in your tiny home in your yard, and then you can watch her and make sure she's straight. She still have her or his autonomy, if that's what you call it, or independence, but you still watching over them. And you know ain't nobody mistreating them, because that happens often. Because no one's going to care about your family member like you.
No.
And it's something that's saving you money, and you still get the connection of having connection with the elder people who can give you the history and the wisdom of who you are. Like your great-grandma, your grandma tells your grandchildren, hey, this is where I come from, this is what I did, this is what I came from. To make you be here today, to have this social media and all whatever you got going on. So that's a great story, man.
He need a 30 for 30, bro. ESPN, y'all need to stop playing, bro.
30. Because your first 12 years, I was like, man.
How old are you? You still 9? You still 9?
You was 9 when you had to drag your, or 11 when you had to bring your mom to the shower. I wouldn't even know to do that.
I got pushed to the street at 18, was like scared. I had to grow up overnight, bro, in the basic training. 5 in the morning. What the hell you doing?
The fact that you're still here and you thriving, that's a testament.
But I think that seeing people who I grew up with not make it and killed and in prison now, and you know, I got 4 friends that I have that have been doing prison, life in prison, right? And then I have a friend that did 8 years, and now he owns his own barbershop in Sacramento. So it's like he went through the same kind of progression, right? And if he would have took the other route, he would have been an All-American, right? And it's like those type of things that you see. It's like, I think that helps me a lot.
I feel that.
And then knowing that now I have my son, and my wife that depend on me. It's like that's the
backbone, bro.
Yeah,
I love that.
It's like that's my So
the story, y'all hear this, man?
So
do y'all hear this? I told y'all we bring some shit to y'all, bro.
And I tell everybody, it's like I must have did something really good in another life. Because it's like all that shit I went through before, it's like I'm blessed now, right? And it's like I can continue to bless people, and I became a servant to people, and that's what helps me grow.
That transition.
That is the beauty of
transition, man. That's
and the pure intent of things. I do things with pure intent, and it just helps me grow.
That's the beauty right there, like you just said.
Fantastic, bro.
Where you can see the blessing, and then you, like you said, the give back is you be of service to people. Right. Some people think when they're down or when they're low or they're not feeling loved is to give hate out and misery. But the truth is, if you're not feeling loved, go give somebody love.
Yeah.
If you want to be called or you feel like no one cares about you, call somebody and tell them you love them, and then you'll get it back, and it'll make you feel better. It's like, intrinsic.
I've been through the whole thought of suicide.
Yeah,
I've been through the whole depression.
That first 12 years of your
life.
That's
what I want to ask you, man. I want to ask you, like, going through all that. How was your depression level as a child too, man? You ain't got nobody to lean on. That had to be.
He said he felt like God hated him.
Yeah.
God didn't love him.
That's like the worst depression.
Yeah.
Bottom.
At a 12, 13-year-old, 11-year-old.
Well, it's like I also knew that like you. I had a whole bunch of different reasons why I couldn't make it and why I shouldn't make it, right? And it's like I didn't understand why I should. So that's what I went to go explore.
And that's the hard part right there. That right there is the difference.
Hell yeah.
If you could imagine it or believe it, or then it can happen. But if you can't even see no way of why you should be able to make it, or why it's you the one who should, then it won't be.
Yeah.
So that's the mentality. That's the lesson.
I want to say this too, man. Just like, put your kids in sports, boys and girls. There are lessons that can be taught in sports that parents can't give. Like teamwork.
Business,
absolutely.
Networking.
Man.
Understanding how to deal with your differences. And you figure them out, other than your parents stepping in. Like, those are all things that are going to go on the sports.
How to operate in chaos.
Right.
That's the.
How to show up for your team.
Yeah.
Yes. And when you let them down, that feeling too.
Let them see their part in society, how they see themselves on a team.
Or how all of it connects. Like, we're all connected at the end of the day. A team is everybody's connected, especially football, the most major team sport. Everybody has to do their job. If one person don't do their job right, it fails.
Absolutely.
It fails. So that team, putting your children in sports is one of the best things you could do to teach them about life things that maybe you can't teach them. Or that they'll have to learn later in life that they can learn earlier. Because my dad put me in football, I wanted to quit. And he was like, my mom was like, he can quit. My daddy was like, no, he can't. I paid. Boy, you better run.
Get your ass out there, boy.
That was a cool thing. It also is like understanding that like how much it impacted the kids at my elementary school playing sports, right? Because they couldn't hang out because their dads and stuff were around, and they would take them to go play, but we couldn't afford to. I couldn't afford it.
Yeah. It's a difference maker. Yeah, it's definitely a difference maker. Putting your children having something to do, especially when in the era or the neighborhood there's nothing going on but negativity. Having somewhere to go where you can get off you can get somebody who care about you. Coaches are important. Shout out to coaches who give young men and women confidence, tough love, all the things that you need to be well-rounded.
I make my son, like my son's playing tennis. I won't let him play football though right now.
I feel you though. Yeah. I probably won't let my son play football either now.
Why you won't let him play football?
Soccer though.
He can play flag football, but he's not going to put on helmet until he's developing.
Tell him why.
It's just a horrible.
CTE. Head banging, all the things that are dangerous at a young age. Like he said, we didn't know that, or they knew it and they kept it from us. I don't know which one it is, but
this is the beef that I have with because I'm gonna use this in real talk. This kind of like what happened to me in my life.
Okay, tell us.
Like I didn't get to play Pee Wee and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Because you was a cowgirl fan.
Shut the hell up. Chump. So when I got to high school and I started playing, this is the thing. I wasn't used to the contact. Mm-hmm. So it took me like a year to get used to the contact. I would probably say I was one of the best people on the team.
Yeah.
Once I got used to the contact, then I started throwing people. Yeah. But it's like you miss those years And I could have been like, I don't want to play because of the contract, but I wanted to be on the team. I didn't care about that.
Right.
It was just, I wanted to be on the team, so I'm going to go through this. And once I make the transition, like in the Strawberry thing, now I'm about to let everybody have it. And that's how I played.
Yeah.
I get that. That's the trade-off.
But some people, I picked it up, but some people might not pick it up enough and just, I just do something else. You know what I'm saying? And they could have the talent, but their parents don't want them getting injured or anything like that. I understand the injury, but there are lessons in sports, no matter boys or girls. It is.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah.
And that's the trade-off. You got to weigh that. You weigh the trade-off of what you're saying versus your child getting CTE or something like that. So it's all parents do your due diligence and do what's best for you and your child.
Like
but you should put them in some type of sport.
Yeah,
it could be flag football.
Absolutely.
It could be soccer.
Too.
It could be bowling league. It could be something that
we try to keep them busy.
Yeah.
Keep
no white space on the board.
Because that's where the nefariousism comes, the devil, where they want to try to do some, get pregnant or go look at some girls. You know what it is. So,
well, like they say, right? Like the devil blesses you too.
He's an angel too.
The devil blessed me a couple times in the 90s. That's funny.
I want to know this now.
He crept into.
Don't answer that. Oh my God!
While they was playing sports and shooting craps and game banging, I was having kids.
That what you get?
The devil said, "Man, come here. This might be good to you. This girl with this short skirt on."
Man, we got a guest, man.
All right, I'm just saying. My bad. I digress. But your story was great, man.
Didn't I tell y'all? The homer gonna bring it, man. I love that.
Hey, that was a great story.
I gotta give you a I
appreciate it.
Check it out. Season about to start. Who your squad?
I don't have a squad.
You don't got a team?
Nah.
You got a player?
I like players.
Who you like?
Yeah.
Who your favorite running back?
Ooh.
Top 3.
Matter of fact, who was your idol?
When you was growing up? Oh, that's everybody.
All day.
Deion, Andre Reed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Andre Reed.
Was you an Atlanta fan?
Huh?
Atlanta fan?
No, he was Bills.
Andre Reed was Bills, that's right.
Bills. Yeah, but Thurman Thomas.
Yeah.
Those kind of guys. Emmett, of course.
Yeah.
But Don Beebe, I like guys like that.
I got you.
Yeah.
The dude that work hard.
Yeah.
But don't get no recognition.
Yeah, Deion, I just, you look good, you play good, you feel good, you get paid good.
Everybody look like
that
Deion. Deion inspired everybody. Like, listen, I look good and I'm good.
Oh, yeah.
I don't just look good.
Yeah, so he, but now it's.
Absolutely.
There's not, I don't really, how the game is now,
You don't like it?
I don't really like it.
There's
a lot of people that play tell me that.
A lot of people don't like it.
But the playoffs, I fuck with the playoffs, right?
Gotcha.
I can watch those, and but I'm just not a seasoned fan.
It's entertainment, truthfully.
Yeah.
Football season started in the playoffs. It's entertainment for the 17 weeks.
Yeah. But I watch a lot of high school football.
Okay.
And I travel, go watch a lot of high school players and things like that. I love helping. So, like, there's kids in my neighborhood. I teach them, help them routes and things like that. Dope. I do that.
So you start at the grassroots level.
You don't have speaking engagements at like these high schools for the kids. You need to keep doing that, bro.
I go do that, and I go into like schools in San Jose. Hart San Jose.
The schools that are
Sacramento, and I talk to the kids, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th graders, 7th graders. I talk at ministries.
Yeah, you could be an inspiration to those, so they can see, because they might be going through what you went through.
Yeah,
and be like, oh, we can make it out.
I ain't did a third of what he did.
I ain't been through. I thought I've been through something. I ain't been through nothing.
That's what the funniest thing is. I tell my neighbor, because her son is 14, right, and I'm like, he's all right. Trust me.
Right.
He's doing okay.
He's doing okay.
Yeah.
When I was 14, I was a drug runner.
Yeah, I was saying.
And trying to sell drugs.
I was in jail 5 times at 14. You ain't this. You be no punishment. You
I'm like, he'll be all right. He'll be all right.
That's a good point. Because everything is about perspective and relativity.
But I think I told you that, right? It's like the saying that ant's legs are ant leg to an ant.
Yeah.
And the elephant's legs are elephant's leg to an elephant, right?
Yeah,
it's like
exactly
how people handle things are just,
yeah.
Everybody has their own trauma.
True.
So I don't knock anybody who's handling their trauma the way they do, because that's how they use it, right? But
that's a good point.
But I always tell everybody, my phone is always open.
Yeah.
And so I always I talk to people that I don't even know sometimes, you know, because I don't judge anybody.
You got that spirit though, bro.
Yeah,
like real
judge
talk.
anybody.
When I first talked to you, I was like, oh, this dude cool as hell.
Yeah, thanks, man.
You got any socials that people can reach out?
How can they reach you with
The Tiny Home Guy. The Tiny Home Guy.
On IG.
On IG.
On IG. The Tiny Home Guy on IG.
The Tiny Home Guy. Yep.
Don't put Big Mama in her home.
Nope.
Yes.
Call me.
Tiny Home. Call him. Tiny
Call
Home
me.
in your backyard.
Call me.
No, Big Mama
and we
helps
offer so
family.
many different services too.
For sure.
We like shopping, companionship, groceries, aid.
Oh, that's dope.
Wow.
Nursing. We offer all these broad, like a real broad spectrum of.
So you don't
of
just bring the
services
home, you
after.
bring all the services with the home.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it ain't just
Didn't I
out here
tell we bring y'all some
here and then
jewels?
let
I mean
us
some
just be-
gems. Didn't I tell y'all?
Yeah.
Stop playing with me.
We
Hey.
in the building. Thank you for coming.
I want to gift you, man.
Look,
Undrafted Allstarz
This is
t-shirt.
the one I got
Appreciate
on.
it. Thanks. I
What
love it.
size are you? You're
Large.
as big as me. Hey, rock that with pride. We
love
appreciate you
it.
coming.
Thank
Hey,
you.
whenever you come to the town, hit us up,
Hey,
man.
man, I want you on the show during the season, man.
Yes,
What's
sir.
up?
Yes, sir. Let's
I'm
get it.
solid, man.
We gonna, you
thank
didn't
for
answer
joining
my
the show.
question, but we gonna get you in the season and how you answer it. Watch
what
it. It
question?
should be McCaffrey, your favorite running back.
McCaffrey's one of them.
Yeah, he should be.
He's one of them. He's one of them. But,
Right now. Right now. Yeah.
Since
Yeah.
we got you here, we got a couple more minutes.
Yeah.
Being an anchor running back, what do you think going on in the running back market right now?
yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I
Tell
think
the
it's
truth,
horrible.
man. Huh?
Horrible.
I think it's horrible.
Of course.
And I think that it's the second or third that it's the second most needed position
For sure. Behind quarterback.
behind quarterback.
Absolutely. Because the
Or
quarterback
third.
needs a,
'cause
as a quarterback,
lineman.
So
you need a running back.
Yeah.
A respectable running back.
you need a person that can run the ball,
Absolutely.
and then you need one guy that can fly down the field.
Right.
Everybody else can fall in.
Yeah, it's in the line. You need a
Yeah.
line because
Yeah.
without that, the running back and the quarterback
the
ain't
line.
doing nothing.
But
Yeah.
that's the line position is so underrated.
super underrated. Only people who
The
rated
number
right
one
is the
group in
quarterbacks,
football is the offensive line.
Yeah.
and
number
on
one
the
group.
defense is defense line.
Defensive
So
line.
Well, see, like a lot of quarterbacks don't even they don't even respect a lot of the line.
oh, they crazy.
True.
You know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Y'all quarterbacks, y'all
especially
crazy.
if you're a right-handed quarterback, your left side is
Your
is
left
the most
tackle,
important.
Most important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then vice versa, right? You're
Right.
left-handed, your right side is the most
This is
important.
what they
Smart
going for
quarterbacks
Tua.
buy
They
their
trying to find the
linemen
right.
Rolexes and
Yeah.
dinner
Cars.
all the time. Hey,
Tom Brady took his lineman to dinner.
no, that was about
He said it was
20,
5 digits.
I'll tell you.
$50,000 deal.
Yeah, so
dinner. But
Thank
it's
you,
worth it.
thank you for blocking for me.
Right.
It's worth it, bro.
It's worth it, man. Because without y'all, I ain't nothing. The good quarterbacks know that. Always take care of your linemen if you got them, and running backs. But hey, don't be disrespecting running back positions like y'all doing. This
Right.
shit's crazy.
Yeah.
Shout out
it's
to all the
awful.
running backs that's holding out. I want y'all to hold out. I want y'all to stop it so they can see. Oh, we ain't that important.
I want
None of us play.
to go on protest.
Go-
All
all the top
y'all.
running backs
Go
don't
get
play.
yourself an NIL deal.
Exactly. Go to college and play them real fast, and then let them
back to
see.
college.
Let us see how football look without good running backs in there. They just throw the ball every time. Let's see
Yeah.
how the defense respond to that and the defense coordinators.
That part.
But thank you for
Joe Shumpert.
I
coming
appreciate
out.
you.
Joe
Thanks for
Shumpert.
joining the show, bro. For real.
Great story.
Hell yeah.
Look forward to seeing.
ESPN stop playing, but
We
it's
look
man
forward
on
to
there.
getting tiny homes in Las Vegas.
Let's get it.
Let's
get it.
For y'all big mamas, don't send your big mama to the
Play
the
with some
people.
doses, bro. We out this piece.
We gotta still end with dreams and nightmares because that still was a great story. Let's see.
Hey,
We out of here.
for the rest of the year, we coming just like this.
Yes, sir.
We ain't playing with y'all.
Turn it
Shout
up.
out to Joe Shump, tiny home man in the house in the hoops.
In the house, dreams and nightmares. Shout out to Meek Mill. Hey, hey. Hey, shout out to C4 too. Get well, boy.
See Beezy.
Thank you guys.
Yes, sir.
Joe Shumpert, ladies and gentlemen. A great story, a great man. A story of perseverance. He went through a lot of shit.
And now he the tiny
More than I
home
would've went
man,
through.
helping everybody out through all that shit he went through. Shout out to you, Joe.
Let's go.
That's my dog. Hey, have a great motherfucking weekend. We out this bitch.
Peace.
Deuce.